Hello, it's Mugetsu, and here we are with the MMXOD stream. Back to the CE. But I'm gonna be trying to support, the Mega Man 7 OD, and I'm also keeping an eye on the Arca version because that one is looking really good with the changes to unlimited potential X. I just wish that it wasn't CE so that it's easier for people to connect. Okay, give me one moment to do the usual stuff. Okay, getting my link to share, and then we're gonna start as usual. Okay, I'm just gonna post my link on the Discord. Hello, Phantom. Welcome. Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you. Okay, right now I'm just hearing about Mega Man XOD CE upgrade. So it's possible that that the version that I'm using is obsolete, but I'm literally asking. Right now I'm just starting the game, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, Phantom. I am still sad about his passing. He single-handedly made the childhood of children across all of Latin America. Okay, let's see if people join. And if no one joins, I guess I will fight bots. Hello, Pete. Yeah, Phantom. His legacy will never be forgotten. Yeah, man. I mean, it's our home. Hola, Luis André. Bueno, eso depende de si aparece el Brian o no. Pues eso voy a tratar. Okay, let's start with that. Pues sí sale Dani. Ni siquiera la puse privada. Thank you, Phantom. I tried to do that, but it's tricky with all the stuns. Damn, they were responding to something. Hola, Taki. La verdad es que cuesta mucho trabajo ganar porque hay un par de sujetos que se la pasan haciéndome la vida imposible en esto. Hello, Roncat, don't worry. It's only this is like the second match, so you haven't missed out on that much. I mean, I didn't expect anything of the Summer Games Fest. So, when you have no expectations, you can't be disappointed. In a way, I don't have a reaction because this is exactly what I anticipated. But at the same time, this just confirms the notion that, yeah, the future of Mega Man is pretty much fan games. Most of the controversy is that Protodude hyped it up on Twitter because Capcom gave special invitations to people like they did for the 30th anniversary Mega Man Party. I mean, people are allowed to make mistakes. Well, not necessarily like allowed, but I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Unless there is some kind of malice to be, demonstrated. I think that this can just be an honest mistake and maybe a little of optimism. But they shouldn't really blame Protodude for that. They should be mad at Capcom. I think that people really should take whatever anger they might have for Protodude and direct it at Capcom. That is my honest take. Es uno de los mapas nuevos de aquí. Todavía se hacen mapas nuevos para el Mega Man XOD. Aunque pues ya no contamos con nuevos mapas. Okay, but I don't remember what was the name of the principle, but it was something Racer that said, unless, the, I mean, always assume ignorance over malice, or something along those lines. So, like, it's best to assume an honest mistake over a malicious intent. So in this case, what if the information that he got led him to believe that there would be something for the Mega Man community, and then it was Capcom who simply did not deliver to the hype? I mean, can we really blame the person making the connections and maybe being a little optimistic because they are wishing for the community to have something? Ultimately, it was Capcom who failed to deliver. If anything, we should be mad that Capcom misled him. Again, that is an external factor that should not be, blamed on Protodude. I mean, I think that we're all on the same side on this issue. Hello, TC Korea, welcome. I mean, I thought it was most of the community's posture. Is Proto the exception? I mean, I also want to try to hope for the best, you know? Like, hope for the best, but be ready for the worst. That is a wise approach for life in general. Yeah, also, I think that the Reploid Revo thing really did a lot of damage to, you know, the larger fandom. And I don't think that they have recovered from the, you know, the shockwaves of all the implications of that. In a way, you know, it was joked about before, but for real, I think that the community is in shambles. It's definitely not what it's gonna be. I mean, what it was like before Revo, and it's not gonna be the same after Revo. Well, also, economy is a mess, that is true. Everything is getting expensive as hell, and people can't even afford basic things, let alone luxuries, because ultimately, games are luxuries. And basically, you guys are knowing what it's like in the third world. Because this is how it's always been in Latin America. No need to rub salt on the wound, round cat. future of gaming as it is right now, it's gonna be retro games and indie games, because modern games are just getting stale at this point. Okay, we only have 3 people left. Alright. Damn. Well, I mean, Nintendo remaining popular doesn't seem so bad until you remember that Nintendo is also becoming like the Disney of games, and I am concerned about that development. Well, that is true. I don't even know what the hell Sony is doing anymore. And I feel like Microsoft is also taking the Disney direction, destroying all the good that they ever built. Why? I don't know. we already know, Tencent being a Chinese company, I was never gonna give it my full trust. And for the record, I am Mexican. Mexico has no business in, the enmity between the US and China is not our business at all. But even then, I don't feel too trusting with the Chinese. I also don't feel too trusting with the US government for that matter, so, either one is evil. Either one is plenty evil. Yeah, I know we're talking about this in Korea, but again, as a country that's a direct neighbor of the US, I am not too comfortable with the US being such a massive superpower. Yeah, always dangerous. In a way, I think I understand what Ukrainians feel with Russia because it's the same case. As a small country, you don't want to have a powerful country right next, at your doorstep. Yeah, I know this Korea. That is the whole point. Yeah, I understand that the status quo of the world is unsustainable, and probably things will come to blows sooner or later. But I still only, give my point as an outside observer because technically none of that will ever be my business. I mean, Mexico had no business in either of the world wars, and we're not about to start. We pretty much did jack in World War II, so we were basically a token that they made us be there. And in World War III, yeah, Mexico really doesn't have anything to do with anything. Don't worry. I also don't really follow any specific parties or ideologies. Me and my family and I are pragmatic about it. We just try to see which one of these guys is the lesser evil. Okay, we're gonna work with that one. That's how we go about. We are not sold into any ideology or any party. We work with whoever is the lesser evil because they are all bad. Who is the least bad? That is always the question. Okay, and getting back on the other topic, let's see. Some people are also worried about Mega Man because there was no Legacy Collection in a year. I think it's a lose-lose situation because if they release another Legacy Collection, they're gonna say like, more Legacy Collections. That's all Capcom ever does. And if they don't release a Legacy Collection, they're gonna say, Capcom doesn't care. I mean, Capcom doesn't care. But it goes beyond not making Legacy Collections. Some speculate that because the Zero CX collection sold poorly, Capcom doesn't want to make a Star Force or Legends collection. I mean, considering how clunky Legends is, do we really want a Legends Legacy collection? Like, honest, do we really want that? I know that even Star Force has its fans, but with Legends, like, really? Is there anyone out there that legit wants a Legends Legacy Collection? I mean, Star Force probably rides off the fame of Battle Network, because I don't think it stands on its own that much. But still, at least it has some hype. But Legends? And I'm sad that Battle Network is so popular because that is the least Mega Man of the Mega Man games. I still maintain that stance that it's the least Mega Man-like of all the sagas. Well, Star Force probably even less, but the Star Force comes from Battle Network. The people still ask for Legends 3 to this day. Well, without Inafune, I don't see that happening. maybe it could be a tie because, I mean, you could say that um, in Spanish we called it forma y fondo. Translating that into English would be like shape and background. So you could say that Mega Man Battle Network is the least Mega Man in shape, because of the way the characters look, and the whole artificial intelligence business instead of robotics. And then Mega Man Legends is like the least Mega Man in background because even though it bears a passing resemblance to Mega Man, it fails to deliver on the core game mechanics. I think it's a way to see it. Mega Man EXE still copies power from his enemies. Volnut is the only Mega Man who doesn't get new powers from bosses. Okay, you're making a good point there. But I don't really want to praise Battle Network too much. I mean, the only game that might pass off as a legit Mega Man game is the Wonderson one. I mean, that I have personally experienced. But I know that the rest of the saga is nothing like it. Well, I have heard of that one. I simply don't have a verdict on it because I haven't played it, but I'm aware of that one. I think that both Battle Network and Legends lack, they have that issue that they both lack familiar characters because there is no longer any real connection to the originals. I mean, X was a creation of Dr. Lights, but Battle Network just disregarded everything from the classical canon. And Legends doesn't have anything left from also the classical canon, so I think that they are both bad on that regard. Yeah, I kind of lump together Star Force with Battle Network because Star Force wouldn't be a thing without Battle Network. But you know, it suffers from the same issues in spades. The Mega Man in Star Force doesn't really seem like much of a Mega Man to me. You know, I don't know why CX is seen as so unrecognizable because, I mean, it's in line with the Mega Man Zero art style. I don't necessarily endorse it, but you know, CX is more of the same a little bit. Okay, this is the first time I hear that Zero is not iconic. What the hell? Okay, and this is the last match for the night. Okay, also, I saw your comment from Cat. I see. I just didn't imagine that Zero wouldn't be, you know. I mean, I expected him to be more iconic because a lot of people I know can't recognize Zero. And I mean, he has appeared in games like in Mario vs. Capcom. Alright. Also, hey there, firefighter. Okay, let's see the rest of the comments. I've told you before, most normies only play X1 too. That kinda sucks because X3 wasn't so bad. The whole Super Nintendo trilogy is good in my opinion. But I mean, Zero does play a role in both games, even if he's not playable. You have to know who Zero is. Yeah, I remember when you told me, yeah, that your dad had no idea who Zero was. Well, Zero didn't appear in those. That's a little unfair. Which, combined with the familiarity and identity crisis of Star Force and the burden Star Force had to carry through Battle Network, and even X7's catastrophe. Yeah. Yeah, I think that Mega Man has been collapsed as a franchise for a much longer time than we have realized. It's sad, but that is the reality. My personal stance is that I don't really have much hopes for Capcom, and the future of Mega Man is gonna be, with fan games and retro games, because no matter what happens, we will still have the classic games. So there is that. And I mean, there's also ROM hacks and interesting stuff. So there is some replayability, but it's entirely up to the fans. Well, okay, Ramcat, I get your point. Also, because in the US, it seems that Ruby Spears was had a much bigger impact. People are familiar with classic Mega Man, but let me tell you that here in Latin America, I think that most people have some awareness of Mega Man X because a lot of us, the 90s kids, played the games. I mean, my parents do know who Zero is. They can recognize him. And I know that other people I know who play the Mega Man X games, their parents probably know some stuff. I don't know the exact percentage because again I have never done like a formal study on anything, on it or anything. But yeah, I think that it's probably different to the situation in the U.S. because the Ruby Spear cartoon wasn't that known, so it was mostly the games. Yeah, I know, Rankat. And even those sales are low nowadays. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave it here. It's a reasonable time to end it. I still have some things to do. And okay, there is a slight change of plans tomorrow. I do want to give Sonic a little rest. I am gonna continue on Monday, but that is also because I'm also doing a long overdue request. That is, I'm gonna be sharing fan games. Actually, Mega Man X fan games. I mean, Flash fan games. I'm gonna be playing uh, whichever I can on Newgrounds, and I will also play some from my collection. So I'm gonna be streaming that. It's gonna be like short. Some of the games are sadly incomplete, but they are good. And many of these were an iconic part of my childhood or like my preteen, early teen years. So I'm gonna be doing that for the Sunday stream. Mega Man, Mega Man X Flash fan games. There was also the Nintendo Sony split. Yeah, most Mega Man fans stuck to Nintendo consoles, so they never played X4. Yeah, I think that it was fortunate that literally my mom took me to a video game store, and we found out that I saw that they had Mega Man X5 on display. I was like, what the hell? Mega Man X5? What the hell happened in Mega Man X4? For context, up until that point, I had only ever played the Super Nintendo trilogy. So when I saw Mega Man X5, I had many questions. Like, what the hell? There was a Mega Man X4, and I didn't hear of it. And I saw the game, I had to buy it. We bought this. And obviously, I started playing it. And as I played it, I have even more questions because I see, okay, Zero is playable now. What the hell? Zero has air dash from the get go. And then I see X has a full armor from the beginning. What? All of these things blew my mind because I had no context. I really was wondering what the hell happened in X4 that X5 is starting like this. I really had a lot of questions. So it's funny because my first contact with the PlayStation games was X5. I would play X4 years later. I had some knowledge of it because my friends told me of it. And then I would, know of X6. But I would only play X6 until I was in high school, when I was like 16 years old. So during that time, the only games I ever played were Mega Man X 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 4. That was the order for me. I'm also planning to continue X2 and possibly more move on to X3. Yeah, that's good to see. If you want to stream it on the Discord, by the way, just let me know. So we can try to get people to watch it, like MS has been doing. So there's also that. We're having those like mini events, people streaming in the Discord server. Also, almost no one played X3 on SNES because everyone was hyped about the N64. And yet, let me tell you that as an outsider to the Nintendo 64, I'm not entirely convinced that the hype was justified. Like, every game in the Nintendo 64 was 3D, and you already know how I feel about 3D, so at least PlayStation had 3D games, but it had the option of 2D games. I appreciate that. So, yeah, for me the N64 is a little overhyped, because again, I never really played the games in any meaningful capacity, and because they are all 3D. Every game was always 3D. I did notice as I read the Nintendo Club magazines, all the games in the Nintendo 64 are 3D. Like, what? Why don't we have games like the Super Nintendo anymore? That was a disappointment for me. I was expecting to find games like the Super Nintendo, but in better graphics, that kind of stuff. And it was the PlayStation what that kind of delivered. You need to give the Nintendo 64 a chance, though. Yeah, I'm aware of that. That's why I'm specifying that I'm saying this as an outsider because I never really played the Nintendo 64 in any meaningful capacity, so I don't have a proper opinion. I'm just saying this as an outside observer that I'm not very fond of 3D games, and all the games for it were 3D, so yeah, it was disappointing. I wanted to see a Mega Man X on the Nintendo 64, but then I realized that it was all 3D janky things, and yeah, it was like, yeah, best not to have a Mega Man X like that. Nintendo 64 was the biggest thing in 1996. So yeah, I know that it was super hyped, but it was also expensive as hell. So when I saw the console and the price, it was at that moment that I knew I would never have a Nintendo 64. Not even selling my soul, I could get enough money. And even now, probably, if I sell my soul, I can't get enough money for even a Nintendo 64. Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I'm also aware that Crash was a huge thing. Yoshi's Story was 2D? Huh. I think that because of the graphic style, I consider it 3D. But come to think of it, I think that the gameplay is 2D. Well, it has 3D-ish moments, but okay, I'm not gonna push it. Okay, Yoshi's Story is 2D. Or 2D adjacent. Star Force isn't a 3D game, just uses 3D models. That's why everyone asked for it for Christmas. I guess it was a really bad move of my part to be born into a family that did not celebrate Christmas. So, yeah, as a kid, I had a pretty horrible childhood on that regard. Yoshi's Story is 3D sprite like the Donkey Kong Country games. Okay, touche, fair point. Well, TC Korea, it's because they are unfamiliar, because they are 3D, and because they are directly spawned from Battle Network, which I dislike for the whole entire different premise, the different looks of the characters, so and the unfamiliarity. So yeah, pretty much. Mischief Makers is 2D. That game, that name rings a bell, but I'm not entirely sure. I know I have seen that name, but yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I can try to recall, but I only recognize the name. Alright, guys, like I was saying, I'm gonna leave it here, okay? I'm gonna try to rotate, I'm gonna try to alternate between Mega Man XOD and Mega Man 7 OD. And maybe also I will incorporate the Arca version because I am curious about the changes. It's just that I'm not that fond of having to use Radmin again. But I guess I will have to. And what else? What else? Oh yeah. Okay, so I told you that for the Sunday stream it's gonna be, Flash games. Mega Man X Flash games. And then, on Monday we're gonna continue with Sonic. Or, maybe on Tuesday. I'm gonna have to check because I still have some unsorted business in real life, so I might take the Monday off to sort it out. And then, stream on Tuesday. Probably better. Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you to see that I'm seeing how things are going, and I think that I will probably be asked to play more of the Battle Network games because I have already, you know, opened that Pandora's box with the WonderSwan game. So you know what? It's possible that after I finish all the other Mega Man games, including maybe Legends, I will touch Battle Network and Star Force. If and it's a big if I can get them running because I think that they are 3DS. I'm gonna have to try to emulate. So if I can make that happen, I guess I might touch those games. And I guess if that happens, I could have a better opinion. But at least right now, as an outsider, it's not very much to my taste, to be honest. But I will recognize it's subject to change, or maybe it will remain the same. I don't know. But at least the option is on the table. Good night, Easy Korea, and yes, sleepy mammoth time. Alright, guys. Again, thank you so much for sticking around. That's gonna be it for tonight. So tomorrow we're gonna be doing, the Flash games. Remembering the good old times in Newgrounds. I mean, I know I'm old. Alright, guys. Have a good one and see you next time.